Welcome to 3-in-1 on our midweek. We are in Lent, and our Lenten study on Tuesday nights is on a book called The Unfiltered Jesus. And last week we spent some time beginning here on Wednesday nights to give us little snippets of that. So if you want to get the book, you can do that. You want to follow us on Tuesday night, ask for a Zoom invitation to be part of it. We talked about salvation. I'm going to jump right to what Jesus says about salvation, the book of Revelation. I love talking about that because everybody thinks we can't understand Revelation. Let me just give you a real quick summary that the author, what Bob Hunter tells us about Revelation. One, that it is a disclosure and an unveiling. That's what it is. The question is, on who wrote it? Well, theologians, they like to argue, was it John who wrote the gospel or somebody else? He cuts to the chase. The revelation of Jesus Christ is the revelation of Jesus through an angel to whoever this John is who is writing it. In other words, the angel speaks under the direct authority of Jesus. So who wrote the book of Revelation? God did. Let's cut to the chase. Let's narrow it down. Let's keep it simple for all of us folks who struggle with all of that. Here's the message of Revelation. There's all kinds of imagery, all kinds of apocalyptic writing, and the Romans wouldn't have understood any of it. All of it made sense to an ancient Jew. We don't understand it all as Americans, but it made sense there. So here's Revelation, quick and sweet, according to the author, and I agree with him. Jesus is glorified, Satan is defeated. The end. We spend more time, again, we said last week, fighting minutia, struggling back and forth. What is this? What is that? Who really wrote it? God wrote it, and Jesus is glorified, and Satan is defeated. Everyone who endures to the end will be saved. Enduring the end indicates that there is work to be done on our part. Not to get us saved. We are saved by Jesus Christ, but once we are saved, we are called to endure to the end. There's a couple of things that happen in this section in Revelation about salvation. The first is Jesus talks about salvation through the churches. Hear this, because Revelation is always the hellfire and brimstone. Number one, Jesus sees us in a positive light. That's what it means when we say he loves us. He tells us when he's pleased with the fruits that we are bearing the kingdom. He is pleased when we are doing the work of the kingdom. He also tells us that failure to produce fruit is the cause of our defeat. He then says whether we succeed or fail, Jesus always expects us to continue to turn back to him. I hope you're hearing that. If you're that person who's listening, saying, God doesn't want me back, I'm too bad, I'm too far gone, there is no hope, that is not what Jesus says through the angel in the book of Revelation. He expects us to continue to turn back and seek him. The next is he is very clear about the negative eternal consequences that will be suffered if we don't repent. See, what happens is we hear that voice in our head that says, don't repent, you're too far gone, and then we just become farther gone. And Jesus warns us that if we listen to that voice, if we listen to the voice of evil, the voice that shows up in addiction, the voice that shows up in atheism, the voice that shows up in all the things that destroys our relationships, for all good comes from God. When we listen to that voice, it all falls apart. Last part, the positive eternal consequence, which is salvation, we talked about last week. If you haven't heard it, then go back and listen to it, is available for everyone who will endure to the end. Only those who endure. It's not punch my ticket, wait for the train to come get me on the day I die. That's not it. Our entire lives are to be living out this salvation experience. Hope to touch base again. See you soon. And we'll talk further about what he says to the churches and salvation. Good night.